Nice. Where are you coming from? Or do you go here or?
So in terms of like where I am here or like physical location?
Physical location.
Yeah, I'm actually from about an hour out from here.
Okay.
So I'm local, but I'm not a student. I'm an older guy.
Okay.
Hailing from the ancient year of 1991. But yeah,
It's not that ancient, is it? Oh,
32.
It is ancient. I mean, I'm born in 1996. And,
I'm going to try a level 9 start.
Okay.
I tried, after getting used to 15 speed, I tried a 9 start the other day, and it's like, people play like this?
You mean like it's really slow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of it was also recently I had been playing a bit of Tetris Effect, and I'd been playing Master Mode in that, which is slightly easier.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's slightly easier
like,
Death Tetris.
Yeah, it's like, it just like,
Yeah. Yep, it's 20G. It's slightly easier than actual 20G in. I think what it's specifically supposed to be based on is Tetris the Grandmaster 3 Terror Instincts Shirase mode.
Wow. Okay.
Which is harder than Death.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like somewhere between 20G in like Master mode and then Shirase or Death. But yeah, like playing that and then going to Classic and playing anything other than, like I said, like 15 starts or whatever, was just the same thing. Like, God, this is so slow. This, like, yeah, cool. I can keep my stack super clean, which is great right now. And then I'm going to get blindsided when it actually picks up to what I'm used to.
So obviously, like, the biggest difficulty of classic Tetris is how the piece locks.
Yeah, having no lock delay or like absolute minimum lock delay, because I've seen players get away with slides that are like, wait, this is classic Tetris.
Yeah, right.
But it's very rare. So like coming to this from modern Tetris, yeah, that absolutely has been the biggest thing, aside from the air movement, the actual, I can't just hold right. There they are, right on time.
My question is, how important, like let's say you're playing on the Shirase, the hard master modes or whatever, right? Like, how important is like piece preview? Because I know they give you plenty of piece preview, but it's happening so fast.
So the thing is, the way tap works, tap is still single piece preview. It's not the modern stuff with 6 dang pieces.
Yeah.
Tetris the Grandmaster 3 is more modern. It gives you more piece preview.
Yeah.
I don't play 3 as much, partially because 3 doesn't have an official home port.
Yeah.
So anytime I've gotten to play it, it's been through more nefarious means. That's all I'll say there. But part of what makes Tetris the Grandmaster a weirder comparison as well, I can't say I'm at this level myself, but the really high level Tetris the Grandmaster players play by sound. So,
okay.
like that sounds weird, but when you play Tetris the Grandmaster, each piece shape actually has a unique sound effect associated with it when it pops up in the piece preview.
Whoa, that's really cool.
So it creates this interesting soundscape when you're watching someone else play it. But yeah, like the really high level players are never looking at piece preview because they know what piece is coming from the sound that plays.
That's so cool. I like that placement right there. Yeah, so I could see, I mean, you already know, right, a lot of the things about stacking. So like when you put that piece there, like you didn't want to make that kind of ridge.
Yeah, and it's been, oh, that was a goof. It's been this ongoing thing of like talking myself out of it, getting bad piece layouts where it's like, oh cool, I have, a ridge, like up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
And I get that constantly, and it's like fighting with myself to figure out what a more optimum layout would be to not have that happen. Like, see, I've got it there right now. Thankfully, I'll be able to somewhat clear it up because I've got this nice perfect mountain.
Yeah.
So like, that'll go there, and look, the TP is exactly where I want it. But obviously, it's classic Tetris. I can't rely on having a bag to tell me, yes, I'm going to get that piece.
Yeah, you're not.
So it's like, while I'm getting used to that concept, it's still really a learning curve, and it's been one of my hardest things getting into this.
Yeah, we're doing a fine job here.
Not what I wanted. Also not what I wanted, but I can at least tuck.
Oh, okay. Doing vertical on tuck slides. We make a huge deal out of those classic Tetris.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about the Vits in particular. It looks like this will clean up, maybe. Yeah, there's an eye, so that'll clean up. Yeah, I keep, my mind says long bar and my mouth says eyepiece.
Yeah.
Some of that is like I said, before getting into this, I like Tetris the Absolute, the Grandmaster 2, but I play a lot more of like modern Tetrises, like Puyo Puyo Tetris and the like. Part of that is because I like Puyo Puyo as well. Like, big fan of that series, big fan of those characters in particular. So like, some of it is less. I'm terrible at Puyo Puyo. Like, I can do a 5-chain on command. That's the extent of my ability in that game.
Nice. More than I can.
But like, I grew up with Puyo Pop Fever on the GameCube, so yeah, I put a lot of time into those games via that, and then later via some of the DS games and Puyo Puyo 7. And when Puyo Puyo Tetris finally got announced for an English release, it was like, I can't believe this is happening. Because it was the first time we had gotten one in English in years and years.
Wow. I don't know. Puyo Puyo Tetris just like blows my mind. I watch like comp.
Oh yeah, no, I mean like,
it's like
I've watched like, so the French player Doremi was streaming recently, and streaming just queuing in PPT2. I can't. That's harder for me to say than just saying Puyo Puyo Tetris. Wow. But
no, I get it. Yeah.
But yeah, queuing it in just in regular Tetris queue in that, and Doremi is so high ranked in it that it takes like half an hour to find a match, because there are like only a handful of other players who actively play that are eligible in matchmaking. I'll take the burn.
Well, I don't know, last time I was watching this tournament, it looked like somebody had Doremi's number. I forgot what the name.
Yeah, Doremi isn't the best player by far. Yeah. Like he's very, very good, but there are other players.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
But like I said, it's just it's a combination of all of these players that are at such a high level that unless they coordinate to all be playing at the same time, it's like you're not going to randomly find people in matchmaking who are at that level.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, for an example here, imagine if you had matchmaking for NES Tetris somehow, and it's like, okay, cool, Fractal goes online. How many other players are going to queue and play against Fractal? Or Scooty, or Alex T, or any of these other really, really high-level players. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good setup. Yeah, okay. It's going pretty fast now.
Yep, I'm fine with 16 speed to an extent, except for that. 19 is instant death for me, so.
Yeah.
But that was a nice clean layout, so I'll get to play a little longer. But I'm no longer soft dropping.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. There we go. Oh well.
Wow, very good. Very, very good.
Yeah, like I said, my PB was literally day 3 and was a 331K.
Was it what, level 9 start?
That was a level 9 start, yeah. And my best since then on a level 13 start, because that's what I normally do, was a 327.
Wow, okay.
So it's like, that was on purpose.
actually totally get that, to make room for the square.
Yeah. It's like, I would rather have that one gap. That sucks. That wasn't on purpose. But I'd rather have, especially as someone who's still like trying to intuit some of the piece stacking and such, I would rather have one hole further down that I'll get to later than one hole right on top that's going to kill me.
Yeah. No, I totally
And I'm sure there's like plenty of theory is like, no, you would rather have the hole on top, or no, this is the right way, but you did it wrong. But like, I'm spending a lot of time when I'm playing like this trying to like intuit, like, is this the right way to do this? Is this experimenting actually going to work? Is that a Tetris? Like,
yeah. No, let me speak on that. Like, so me, let's talk about where my relationship to this game, Tetris. I actually started playing modern Tetris like a long time ago, like Facebook Tetris Battle.
Gotcha.
And then I moved to like Tetris Friends. I got pretty good at that, but something about classic Tetris, right? Back when Jonas was still playing,
Yeah.
Joseph was still playing, and I really thought it was just like, dude, this is like the most fun thing in the world. Even though it like looks old school, but it's like,
Yeah.
it kind of traps you because it's like, it looks so easy. Like, I could do that. It's not moving that fast, right?
It is moving that fast.
It is. It really is.
The thing where it's unintuitive is it feels like it's not moving that fast to someone who's used to 20G, and then you play it and it's like, no, this is so much worse than 20G.
So much worse.
Because it's not because of the speed. It's because 20G still has lock delay.
Yeah, it does.
Like the way it gets harder when you're playing TA Death or Shirase, or even when you're playing Tetris the Grandmaster in Master Mode, is you get the lock delay taken. Oof, that's bad. That's death. But yeah, the lock delay gets taken away though. Like they reduce how much you actually get at later levels. I'm gonna see if I can clip this to my beard. Silly as that sounds. Hey, nope, that didn't work at all.
Yeah, take your time.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna twist up some beard.
Oh, you said beard. Oh,
Beard.
Yeah, I thought you said ear.
No, beard. Okay, there we go. This is really uncomfortable, but it'll probably pick up way better.
Okay, wow. You're a hero for that.
But yeah, some of this, like the placement I just did, like seems really obvious. To me, it only seems obvious because, okay, I'm used to, of all things, Tetris Worlds on the GameCube. So it has this mode called Square Tetris, where you're actually trying to assemble perfect 4x4 squares.
The way you handled that part was... Go ahead.
And so you learned, playing that mode, you learn these piece layouts that give you a perfect 4x4 square. And so to me, it's like, well, now I get to take that knowledge and apply it to, okay, so an O piece, a Z, or an L piece, a J piece, and an I piece lined up the correct way makes a 4x4 square. So I can use that just in regular stacking now and be like, okay, I can line this up for part of my foundation setting up at the start.
Yeah.
So it's like, and again, I'm sure there are smarter or better ways to lay that out, but to me, that's what's coming across as intuitive. That was bad. I'll just end the run. Oh, duh. No, start select isn't enabled.
There's like different, I think that's good, right? I think it's very good to have different kinds of philosophies and not to get too stuck to one. The real answer is that we're never going to actually quite know what the right answer is.
Yeah, and part of that is because of the RNG.
Yeah.
Like the fact that this is a game that so heavily revolves around piece RNG.
Yeah.
It's like you said, no matter what, I can have this fantastic layout, and then it's like, oh yeah, cool. I couldn't get the eyepiece in time. I had to burn, and then I get 5 eyepieces in a row.
Yeah. And then along the way, you get a bunch of squares when your stack is kind of jagged, right? Or a bunch of S's when you're...
And see, like that was bad just now because I should have gone for the Tetris and then dropped the J piece in the perfect opening for it, and instead I dropped the I piece into the opening and put the J piece elsewhere. But same thing. It's like I'm actually really bad at intuiting the next piece as quickly as the pieces are falling in this.
Okay, right.
Because the only piece, I mentioned the audio thing in Tetris the Grandmaster, the only piece that I actually memorized the sound of is the O piece, because the O makes a very distinct da-da sound. Like, it's, even before I started playing it myself, it's like, I knew that's what an O piece sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, that cleaned up nicely.
I mean, that's a very, of the pieces that you could memorize, that's a pretty important one.
Yeah, because it's always the one that's going to be the worst to figure out a spot for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to set up for this upper Tetris here.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen. Nope, there we go. Oh well.
Yeah. So, what do you, so let's talk about dash charge, right? So, like,
so yeah, you said that. I don't know about it. All I know is that DAS is literally, you hold the button for a set amount of time and eventually your piece will slide at full speed. Now, from what I'm kind of intuiting after like looking at it and thinking about it a little more, you can buffer that, can't you?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, so if I'm holding the direction before the piece spawns,
oh, okay.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Okay, so I am intuiting that correctly. That was, I'm just going to end the run. Jesus Christ.
So, I will say that you are on the right track towards figuring it out.
Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of the old players, a lot of them say that you could have like a big guide on, like a big booklet on DAS, but it really did come to a lot of players naturally, where it's like, you start to kind of figure out what makes the pieces skip that initial delay.
Yeah.
Right? However, it does help to get a couple of tips along the way. So one thing is there's a concept called wall charge.
Okay.
Yeah, so what happens is if you can manage as a stack is falling or a piece is falling, if you can ram it into a wall or another piece that's already on the field, that charges the DAS up.
Okay.
And so when that DAS is charged, and if you can keep that DAS charged, when the next piece comes, it will skip that delay at the beginning.
Okay, so it's buffering, but not in the same way that I was intuiting. It's buffering by like you can store from the previous piece into the next one.
But like, so that you can't just rely on buffering from the window between the entry. It's not just the entry delay; it has to happen before.
Yeah.
So it has to happen where, like if you hit that wall there, then you press left, and then you could like for instance, if a long bar is hitting the left, then you could hit left, and then before the next piece comes, if you want to get the next piece to the right, then you can hit right.
So I just did it, by the way, with the eyepiece that was sitting there. I just pushed against it. Oh, I did it too early.
So now
I've figured it out, but now I've got to figure out the timing and not.
It's very easy to do it.
Yeah. Now, did getting a Tetris there mess with the charge then? Or not a Tetris, a line clear rather?
Line clears themselves do not mess with it.
Okay.
What does mess with it is just doing any other input, like left or right.
Okay.
If you just tap left or right, the dash charge will go away.
Okay.
So you have to find, once you do that, then you have to find another way to charge your dash.
Okay.
Yeah. So wall charge is just, I think, one way of getting dash charge.
Oh, that was bad. I'm just going to take the reset. But I'm going to switch down to level 9 again, and I'm going to try to intuit this concept.
Sure.
And I'm just going to let pieces fall naturally. I'm not going to do any push down because I'm just trying to see if I can figure out the timing on how this works. But you said, so rotating the piece does clear it though?
No,
rotating doesn't, left or right does?
Yeah, moving left and right.
Okay.
And then, So one thing that you're gonna come across is there's something called skill stopping. So obviously you don't want to have to wall charge every single time you want dash.
Yes.
So you want to be able to hold down the left and right button just enough to get it into the right place, and that will keep your dash for the next piece. But it's very hard to pull off, right? You have to like just get it right to where you want it to be and let it drop. It's that's something you probably won't have to worry about as much right now, but to do level 19, that is a must.
Yeah, and that was the next thing I was going to do, was I was going to play this run out and then try a 19 start.
Yeah.
Because I've tried 19 starts and I can get a handful of line clears, but level 19 on a totally empty stack and level 19 with even one row up are like completely different games if you aren't already doing techniques.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I mean, that's the stuff I was dealing with, is like I mentioned before, I've had runs where I'm starting to get into on a level 13 start, cool, I'm naturally reaching level 19 and I die within a few seconds.
Yeah. No, nice.
Yeah, we'll burn.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that J has to go to the left. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so over time, yeah, like that.
Yep.
Start to notice where.
Yep, and normally I would, and it's like, it very much, and it's this game, it doesn't matter which version it is, tunnel vision is a huge problem.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, that was actually so cool.
Yeah, and I left an opening, but cleaned it up right away.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to take this. That leaves me with, now I have an eyepiece dependency. Now I've just unfortunately destroyed my 50-50 on J or L, but
Okay.
it does that.
Oh, okay. And you're also aware of the concept of not building a stack on top of any holes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that applies no matter what Tetris version it is. So the bigger thing is sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you just have to burn that way, which isn't as much of a thing in other Tetrises, because if you have a bag, you don't have to worry about burns unless you're really unlucky. And that's very reductive, but like,
No, yeah.
I think anyone who plays modern Tetris and classic Tetris knows exactly what I mean with regards to like how big of a difference it is.
60,000.
Yep, and see, like, unfortunately, I'm still building on top of that hole, but I'm close enough right now that that's a clean burn.
Yeah, and then like in situations like this, like
That's clean.
Another decision you have to make is, do I want to build the Tetris here or a little lower, or
Yeah.
And the more you play, the more flexible you can get. Like you can start building Tetrises like almost anywhere you want.
Yeah, and right now, like, I have an open stack. That wasn't a misdrop, but I wasn't thinking about it, so it might as well have been a misdrop. But like, I had considered putting the eyepiece over on the far right there, and if I had, my well would still be a mess down there. Instead, I normally am like, I should be patient, I should build up for more Tetrises, and I'm glad I got that in time.
Right.
And yeah, I'll just burn again here with the hope that I get a, that works. Because then I can do that, and that. I've still got that dependency, but there it is. That really is the biggest thing, though, is because I have to rely so much more on RNG, I'm starting to internalize this concept of piece dependencies more.
Yes. Yeah.
Go for this on purpose. This is the single biggest thing that I've had to learn playing NES Tetris, is the idea of putting a T-piece in a different position than what I'm used to. Because I'm so used to just putting the T-piece down flat like this, and it's like normally cool, that's fine. In other Tetrises, you can build around it. In this, that might be a death sentence. So literally just inverting the T-piece, putting it facing inward or outward instead. That's it. Yeah. Okay. But I'm starting to think about it. I'm going to try a 19 start. I just want to...
Okay.
Oh, nope. If I were thinking, I could have tried to get pieces over, but I just want to think about how fast I can move pieces over. And I know, can I back out from here to the other modes? And yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to try... Which mode would it be for the one that starts with a really, really high...
Stack?
It's stack for...
B-type?
B-type stack? Or... Oh, B-type. No. Specifically with a really high left or right that you have to move an eyepiece over.
That would be... I think quick tap.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
And then...
You can try.
Oh, okay, I see.
One means it'll have a one.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
And how do I back out?
A-B select start.
Okay, so it is a full reset. Got it. I want to see...
So you were with the 6 high.
Yep.
Oh, this is level 9.
Yeah. I didn't want level 9. I wanted 19.
See how it barely gets...
Yep, and that's just using gas.
Yeah.
But like that tells me what I need to know is that if I can keep my stack at 6 or below over there, I'm fine. If I can't, I'm going to die at 19. And see, even then, like if I don't rotate fast enough, it hits the wall and then I die.
Yeah. And then also, you have to be careful with this.
Yeah.
Isn't too high.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like 6 high I can do, holding the button. But yeah, obviously I'm holding the button now. So you said you played some modern Tetris. Have you played Tetris Effect or Tetris the Grandmaster at all?
I played a lot of Tetris Effect.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah, Tetris Effect is so fun.
It's,
I'm glad Enhance has done as much as they have to cultivate that game.
Yeah. My favorite mode is mystery mode. It's so bad. It's disgusting. It's like, especially the upside down.
Yeah.
I love that because I really suck at
So
it.
as a rhythm game player and as an ITG player in particular, I'm not good at them, but I love mods. And yeah, that's what that is. It's Tetris with mods. And it's so fun, but I agree, it's hard. It's hard to get used to
It's
it.
hilarious, and then you have the one where the pieces are huge.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not mods at that point. That's you made me play Giant Tetris, and you need to go to jail now. But no, the reason I ask, so you're familiar, if you played a lot of Tetris Effect, then you're familiar with IRS, Initial Rotation System?
Oh, I know about SRS.
Yes, so the IRS is a system developed by Arika for Tetris the Grandmaster, and Enhance actually licensed it from Arika for Tetris Effect. And the way it works, so here, I'll just go into Tetris mode, we'll just pull up. So you see my next piece is a regular Z piece. With IRS, if I were holding A or B before the piece spawned, it would spawn pre-rotated in that direction.
No way.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, like I said, Arika actually patented that gameplay system, but Enhance, like this to me is a testament of how much they cared about making a good Tetris game. They licensed that system from Arika to use in Tetris Effect. And yeah, when you know it's a thing, it's like, it completely changes the dynamic about how Tetris games that use it work.
I have to go try it at home now. Yeah. Wow, that is a revelation. Thank you. Yeah. I feel like I'm supposed to be the coach, but it's
I mean, we're both talking like you're telling me about modern or classic Tetris stuff, and I'm learning a lot from that. But like Tetris is a spectrum of games.
Yeah,
it's not just like, and I as someone who's relatively new to this, but has been playing other Tetrises. Like I said, I mean, I grew up with Game Boy Tetris. I realized that like kind of last second, and if this were a higher speed, I'd be screwed.
Yeah, no, I was still very good.
Oh no. It's slow enough I can still get over it, but oh no.
Yeah, so like my background, right? So once that was like 2019 is when I started to really play classic Tetris.
Right.
From there, it's been pretty much only classic Tetris. I played Tetris back then casually, but yeah, I've really taken after it I used to be a hyper tapper.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was like, man, I can't figure out this stat stuff. And I noticed that I can get pieces over sort of okay. So I just started jamming the controller. And it seemed like, if you wanted to be the best player, hyper tapping was starting to take over. So I was like, I want to try to follow them, I want to chase them.
And that was before the rolling meta kicked in.
Exactly, yeah. So, unfortunately, in 2021, what happened was I needed to actually play on the regular consoles.
Yeah.
To be serious. So up until that point, I had been playing on emulators.
So, and this, I actually am glad you brought that up, because this is something that I have forced myself to not play on emulator at all.
Gotcha.
Because if I'm playing on emulator, I'm using an Xbox Series X controller. And the Xbox Series X controller has an amazing D-pad, and an NES controller sure doesn't.
Yeah.
So
that's been a point of controversy. I think someone got like a 1.3 million a long time ago with the Xbox controller. It was kind of a meme.
It's like, yes, it is a valid score, but is it a valid score compared to doing it on actual hardware with actual control? I get it, and for me as a rhythm game person, that speaks to me directly as well, because it's like the ongoing controversy of like people getting controller scores or keyboard scores in something like ITG, or keyboard scores in I mentioned, I play Beatmania 2DX, and it's even weirder there, because there are people that play there's BMS, which is kind of like the 2DX equivalent of Stepmania / ITG, and keyboard is actually accepted there, because there are a lot of charts that kind of were made to be played on keyboard, and people who only have access to keyboard to play on, they don't have a home setup, either a home controller or like a cab. For ITG, it's like there are keyboard charts, but they are a totally separate discipline from pad charts, and you should not be playing and submitting scores from a pad chart on keyboard.
Wow. Yeah.
So
I totally get that.
In this, it's like, to me, it felt like the same thing, and so it's like, I'm just going to not let myself get used to playing on an Xbox controller that has, this really nice clicky D-pad that feels perfect for me for the way that I like to press buttons and inputs. It's the same thing where for like fighting games, I play on leverless, so I play on a hitbox style controller, and I would love to play this on leverless. And obviously, same problem. It's like I can't plug a leverless controller into an NES. I'm sure I could get an adapter that would do that, but it's not going to be correct. And it's from a tournament standpoint, even playing in the novice tournament coming up here on Sunday, it's not the same thing. So, like, I told myself, no, I'm not even going to think about that. I'm going to learn it as intended. If that means eventually I have to learn rolling or hyper tapping, so be it.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not opposed to the idea of learning rolling. It's for me, it's like I need to find a good resource for it, and I need to have access to that resource at a good time in my entertainment cycle. So it's like right now, it's RIP, it's Rumble in the Prairie, it's the ITG tournament.
Yes.
I'm playing ITG. The International Timing League just started on Friday. Same thing. That's ITG. I'm playing ITG. I was telling a friend earlier on the same thing. Howdy, howdy. How's it going, Aaron? Friend Mochi Miko behind me also playing on the novice tournament on Sunday.
Awesome.
They need to get in some time practicing, though, because she has not played yet.
Oh, okay, sure.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, we could definitely get her on sometime.
Yeah, I think I just want to clean up my stack. I don't care about taking burns right now. It's still slow, so I'm going to do weird setups like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I absolutely love your approach to NES Tetris. My story is that I used to hyper tap.
Yeah.
But I found that over time it was making my hands hurt. My
Absolutely,
arms hurt.
yeah.
There was so much muscle imbalance. It was very stressful, and I was starting to kind of plateau because I just could not keep up. I could not tap as fast as other people could. kill screen was just out of the question. It was just very uncomfortable because I was trying to use the controller like a keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was trying to like put it on a table.
Yeah, and that's exactly for me the reason that I would love to be able to use leverless, because like I actually have most of my playtime in Tetris the Grandmaster is playing in MAME on keyboard. Yeah. So like it's to the point where I didn't bring any controllers with me, but I bought a leverless controller that specifically has a second up button where the that was bad. I'm screwed. Yep, not gonna.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, it has that second up button. It has the regular one that you would see on a leverless, like below the movement buttons.
Okay.
But then it has a second one, like I said, where the W would be on WASD.
Yeah.
Specifically because of Tetris, and then also I play shmups, and it's the same problem. It's really unintuitive to try to use that lower up button as up.
Okay, yeah.
It works in a fighting game because it's jump. It doesn't work when you're physically moving up.
Going up, yeah. Yeah. So, in 2022, I decided to switch back to DAS.
Okay.
And that has been the way I have been since. I have since I've gotten 86 max outs with DAS. Still continuing to improve. I'm chasing a 1.2 million, and I'm all DAS now. And I don't really have much of a motivation or care to learn rolling.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm still growing.
No, exactly, and
I enjoy it.
If you were hitting the 29 wall repeatedly and like I cannot get further, then yeah, that would be like the primary motivator. But you're still kicking ass without doing that.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I'm not opposed to the idea of learning hyper tapping or rolling.
Sure.
It's very much like I said, it's a resource thing. I need to find the resources for it. And find the time to then use those resources.
Yeah, it's definitely it started to very curious, right? It's like there's actually a whole art form. Like a player named Renz, one time he's a roller, and he showed me.
Oh,
like,
that's bad.
What was going on with the rolling, and there's like all these like different grips and stuff, and I was like.
Yeah, and it's like I've seen, and it's like, you know, players like holding like this and tapping from underneath, and it's like. How? Like not even so much that. Like yes, that doing this is hard enough, and obviously I can't do it. I just I can move my fingers like that. But like knowing that you can actually apply the pressure that way, but also using these fingers while using your thumb to rotate.
Yeah.
Like I can do this, I can't do this.
Yeah. Right.
And like I could learn it. I'm sure I could learn it. I've done claw style in other games.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played Monster Hunter claw style. I've played. I'm just gonna end this run. Like yeah, claw style's fine, but that's another level. It's. So the idea of learning it short term, especially like I'm still getting used to the game, I'm still getting used to the core systems, it's not a priority. When I do get better and when I start feeling like, okay, I'm hitting a wall, like I'm close to a max out and I need to learn a technique and need to get better, like yeah, then I'll start looking at rolling or hyper tapping. But right now, like what you've told me about DAS is already, once I start internalizing it, like this run just sucked. I one eyepiece again. But yeah, like I'm going to be, hopefully have time over the weekend here before the novice event to get in a bit more practice and hopefully internalize that some. Because right now it's like, to compare to ITG again, which I'll keep doing, but we're at an ITG tournament.
Yeah.
So there's the concept of tech, which is really what this event is. It's an accuracy-based tech tournament, and tech in ITG is like. So concepts like crossovers, which is a piece of tech shared with Dance Dance Revolution. It's where you might have the arrows be like left, down, right. So you need to cross your feet over your body. So like to hit left, down, right, and have your feet alternate correctly, you hit the left arrow with your left foot, the down arrow with your right foot, and the right arrow with your left foot. And then the pattern would go on to resolve and clean up at that point, and you're moving normally again. And then there's also the concept of foot switches, where normally, like let's say you need to hit down, down. Instead of hitting down and down with the same foot, you would hit, for example, down with your left foot, and then lift up that foot and hit down with your right foot. And you're doing this all in a very fast motion. And then the third common tech is brackets. Brackets to me are in the same spot that learning DAS tech, even the wall charge, is already in. Where, okay, I know this is a thing. I know how it works. I know the mechanic of it, or I have an idea of the mechanic of it. I know that I need to like train my brain to internalize this, and it isn't happening. I'm not doing it yet, and I need to force myself to interact with it more to actually be able to do it. Brackets, very much the same way. I have to force myself to play charts with forced brackets in them. A lot of time with brackets, I didn't mention what a bracket is. It's where you hit the same arrow or two arrows with one foot. So you might have like left down, for example. You have to hit left down with your left foot touching the corner brackets instead of like hitting the middle of the arrow or the side of the arrow. So, but yeah, and brackets, for me at least, I can force myself to play charts with brackets because it's sometimes more than two arrows. It might be three. So you have to hit left, down, up all at the same time.
Oh boy.
And those I actually have a much easier time with because they're telegraphed better, and it's like obvious that this is a bracket and not a jump. Because you can't, like it is a jump, but it's a jump where you have to hit two arrows with one foot. Regular brackets are like, okay, well I can jump this. I can just jump and hit left and down at the same time. So for this, to me, it's the same concept of like, well, I can move this piece far enough over normally, so I'm just going to do that. And then I get blown up by the higher speeds when it's like, well, I really needed to internalize earlier on that I needed to be wall charging. And eventually that I need to be doing other stuff on top of that.
Yeah, so you're definitely well on your way already. It's a really good game actually right here.
Oh, didn't want that. I actually did want it in there, but
I jinxed it a little bit.
Nope, there we go. Yep.
Great
and
game.
part of that just now is sometimes my mind reverts, even the concept of DAS, not even just the concept of using dash charging and stuff, but the concept of just holding left or holding right. My mind is like, what's that? And I start tapping left or right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wrong thing. Also that happens at home too.
Yeah, me too.
Level 3, shout outs to the slowest game you've ever seen.
No, I do that all the time, starting on level 8.
Yeah.
Level 18.
Yep. At least level 8 isn't quite as bad. Yeah, I'll let higher up be bad. CT spins work.
Oh, the basic ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know none of the. So I actually didn't understand until literally last night why modern T-spins work the way they do. So in one of the older versions of Tetris, like older modern versions, they introduced the third and fourth rotation states for several of the pieces, and that's why a T-spin works.
Okay.
So rather than it just being like, that's it. If I rotate an I piece, it looks like that. It's on the same axis.
Yeah.
In a modern Tetris, it's rotating around like an invisible pivot point.
Yeah, it goes to another axis.
Yeah, that's why modern T-spins work. And I literally had no idea about that until I saw something about it in passing last night.
Yeah, I had to watch a very detailed video about SRS to understand how they make the long bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I've played the side modes in like Puyo Puyo Tetris and such, where it just gives you an infinite series of here's a setup. You just drop the exact number of pieces and get an all clear, and you do that until you top out or until time runs out, rather, because a top out just gives you the next board. And seeing some of those and like exactly what you just described, like having to snake in the eyepiece through something that makes no sense.
Yeah, it is so funny. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's one of those elements of modern Tetris I'm perfectly happy to not learn. If I were playing it as a competitive game or like getting really into Tetris 99 or something, I'd do it, but it's not really relevant for just regular stacking.
Yeah.
And it's not a thing for like Tetris the Grandmaster in particular. Like single player in general, I think, is where it's not a thing. Multiplayer, it matters because you gotta be able to fight around garbage.
That's right.
Yeah, I had to make a last minute decision there, and I got what I wanted, but I need to force myself to not get into those situations in the first place, because it's the same problem. It's my mind is thinking I have extra time, and then I don't. I really, really don't. Yep, that'll do it.
That was hard. That situation down there was kind of like,
yeah,
should I be burning this down or going on top of it?
Yeah.
It's not an easy decision.
I think if I were better at movement tech, I would burn a lot less than I do. Right now, the combination of I'm a low-level player. I'm, in theory, going to be playing against other low-level players. I think my better focus right now is to worry about A, survival, and B, getting as high a score as I can, rather than like optimizing for, oh yeah, this is the best points I can possibly earn. I'm not at that point yet. Once I get to that point, it's like, yeah, no, I'm going to start focusing on that sort of optimization. But it's like, I think that's where I have to take this game right now, is just like, okay, I'm well aware of the challenge this game poses. I'm well aware of like, this game's hard. It's hard, y'all. Tetris, hard game. NES Tetris, harder game. But like, internalizing where I'm at with it, I think is kind of like,
this is smart. Let's see. Yes? Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
I think I had dash charges working in there.
Yeah,
I needed a dash charge there and didn't do it. So,
oh my god.
Like, giveth, taketh away, etc.
That is a clip-worthy moment, though. Great stuff. I mean, I wasn't even going to solve it that way, and the way that I was going for it, it may not have even worked out. I was going to like force a T-spin to spin in there.
Yeah, because I know how janky T-spins are in this, it's like any time I can avoid doing a T-spin, I will. Like, modern Tetris, yeah, I mean, I've done T-spin setups before. I know how it works. So it's like, yeah, cool. I can do a T-spin double. I can't do DT cannons. I can't do T-spin triple nonsense, but I can at least do a T-spin double. I'm not trying for a T-spin in this. Not even a T-spin single. I'm like, if I get a mini T-spin and it saves me because I was paying attention, that's fantastic. Otherwise, I'm ignoring them.
It's usually a bad idea because it takes up way too much space.
Yeah. Like, you have to have that special combination of knowing, yes, a T-spin will save me here, and yes, a T-spin is worth going for here, and yes, I'm good enough to do a T-spin here.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, mentioned before with, you know, the idea of like NES Tetris matchmaking. Yeah, if you're Fractal, you can do that. If you're Pixelandy, you can do that. If you're Warp Rattler, random guy from Central Illinois who's barely played, you can't do that.
Yeah, not yet anyway.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm fully on board with the idea of getting that far. I mean, so right now my setup at home is like, I have a TV sitting at my computer desk. Like, I have my CRT sitting there. I mentioned this in Discord, but I got really lucky. I was over at my parents' house, actually still for this. I was picking up my NES games from their garage. And it's like, hey, there's a random CRT out here. It's a 13-inch Trinitron. And asked my dad about it, and he's like, oh yeah, no, if it's the one I'm thinking of, I picked that up a while back because I have he has like a clone NES that he has in his office that he plays on. And, you know, I got it because I was going to use it with that, but I never used it. You can have it. If it works, you're good. He had no idea if it even worked. And it turns out it's like one of the last 13-inch Vega models. So it's like 13-inch Trinitron with component. So it's like, yeah, for Tetris, component doesn't matter. Cool, I could RGB mod my NES. That's way more than I want to do. But for my Mister, for other retro game stuff, it's like, hell yeah. This is fantastic, and it's really nice colors on it. It's a really, I'm happy to have a TV like that for free. Because otherwise, I have a CRT in my basement, so I was good regardless. But it's like
the 13-inch though is such a.
It's a nice size. It's big enough to be clear. It's small enough that it's not taking up an entire desk on its own.
And you can move it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's like 25 pounds. It's whatever. I have a funny picture. I had put it in Discord already.
Which Discord are you?
I am active in, so not for Tetris specifically, but I'm active in the DDR Illini Discord because, you know, RIP and the local stuff. But I also did join the Midwest Classic Tetris Discord.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's like, I know that one, I'm actually really happy in there. It's super chill.
Yeah.
I will probably look at joining one of the bigger ones as well, but I do like just nice chill environments to hang out in, and like I'm in too many Discord servers as it is, so something that I don't feel like I need to check in every 5 minutes or I'm missing 3 conversations. Shout outs to the Throwers Discord for yo-yos. Speaking of Discords that move way too fast for me to keep up anymore.
All right.
Like, the people there are chill, but yeah, they're very talkative. But yeah, like I'll show you later. But yeah, I have just like a 14-inch LCD that I was like, you know, this is thinner. It's also a standard def TV, so. Oh, I needed to charge. Yeah, no, I needed to charge and actually move that T right.
I think if you rotated that long.
I might have been able to charge and get it over.
Like it rotates on the right part of it, not the left part.
Yeah.
It would have gone.
Yeah, I needed to actually try to rotate it because I didn't even try. I had already. That's the other thing. I had already internalized I'm dead.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Which sometimes is kind of healthy because like a lot of times when you're like really on the grind, you're going for a sport, and it's like you really don't want to believe you're dead, and then when you do die, it's like it's such a mental like letdown. It's like, dude, like I really screwed up. I did something wrong. So
Yeah.
I'm not encouraging you to give up, but at the same time.
No, it's you need to pick your battles.
Yeah.
Like it really is. Sometimes it is the correct move to cut your losses, go on to the next round, and sometimes it's like you need to have more faith in yourself and be like, yes, I can actually push this over if I realize in the split second that I need to do this and do it. Like that's part of why the give up mindset is the first thing that comes to mind. There is like, I know I don't have the skills learned and internalized yet. So sometimes just for me, cutting my losses and going to the next game and being like, okay, well, next time I can play cleaner, I can get a better early start, and I can go from there.
So what I'm getting is, look, I really enjoy watching you play. Now, the way you play, I feel like you're coming in from like a different perspective from other Tetris. So like, most of the people that I watch or that play classic Tetris are just classic Tetris players.
Right.
They all
And I
follow
get that.
certain
Oh, that was bad.
Oh, you're good?
No, I mean that was bad too, but I mean like dropping the S there instead of where I should have.
Isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I can build off of it. I can clean up around it.
Yeah. So, as you watch more, you might find certain patterns that start to develop specifically for this game. Like actually earlier, just there was an opportunity to like make room for a square. Right. So it's like
I needed to charge there, and I could have gotten that over.
Yeah, but at the same time, like there's also a certain calmness that I get from watching you play, because it's like a lot of times when you get like to the higher levels, there's like whenever the stack is a little bit imbalanced or there's a dependency, there's this like really big rush.
Yeah.
Oh, like I gotta get this resolved as soon as possible, or else I'm gonna lose points. But sometimes, a lot of times, that's actually not the right idea. Sometimes you actually have to be flexible and to let it come. And sometimes if you are too impatient to fill in the dependency, you actually filled it in with a piece that is good for that dependency, but overall bad for
Yeah, like it makes a worse dependency elsewhere, or it's like it could have been placed better and you could have filled the dependency later.
Yeah.
And for me, like I do have plenty of runs like just playing normally where, yeah, I have those problems.
Yeah, it's just fascinating to watch you play, and I think, as in terms of whatever coaching, I don't think I think just the couple little DAS pointers that.
Yeah, and believe me, I'm trying as hard as I can to internalize those, because that's going to get me further by itself.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that, like the knowledge of, again, how the systems work, because that to me is one of my biggest weaknesses. Is I'm coming into this game not blind in the sense of like, oh, I've never played Tetris before. I'm dead, by the way. I know I'm dead from a third column eyepiece. And I didn't have bad luck that time in terms of not getting the long bars. I had bad luck in terms of like my own placement of them and when they came. So. But yeah, like I feel it though. Like I'm trying to internalize more of, again, for this tournament in particular, the fact that I have continued to be like, I don't need to get the best score possible. I just need to beat the other guy.
Yeah.
I can't do that with the ITG tournament. I got knocked out in round 1, sadly, because 2 of my opponents were people I could beat, and my third opponent was dropping 3 stars, which means they only had a few excellence, which are the second highest grade, and mostly fantastics, which are the highest grade. So they were very, very accurate and beat me.
Oh, so it's like a pool or something, like full play,
Yes, so it's full round robin. So four player pool. You play against each person in your pool to do a full 2-0. Whoever has the best record out of those goes on to the next pool.
That's tough. Yeah.
And yeah, I unfortunately, for overall match record, went 2-1, and the guy who advanced went 3-0 because he was the guy who beat me. And for individual rounds, it's like 2-0, 2-0, 0-2. In a way, that kind of pool almost feels worse than single elim. I hate single elim so much as a side. Like I'm a double elim guy, or even like I come from amidst 5 trillion other games. I'm also a Magic player, so I'm used to Swiss rounds. So I wanted to put that T down there. I misdropped it, and then I put the O, so it's like.
I like that. Shove that O in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good T placement. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said before, like that's what I'm used to doing with the T piece, is doing that again, same thing. And I've been trying to internalize in these more open wells where like I've got a 2 wide on the right side, inverting it and having it like facing with the T part, the tail facing left.
Yeah.
That has been, with regards to stacking, the single biggest thing I've changed, and like I'm going to be taking that back to playing other Tetris games as well. That was not all the way over. Like it's fine, my stack's low, I can deal with it, It's not urgent, and I can wait for that to fix it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm generally looking for like which pieces I can do tucks with as well.
Yeah,
And oh no, sometimes see I that's another thing. I internalize it as no lock delay, and it's not no lock delay. It's barely any lock delay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you saw what happened there. I have. Okay, that was me being bad. That's well, no, like yes, but like it wasn't even thinking fast at that point. It was not thinking. Like I turned my brain off.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's again, some Tetris games you can kind of just go on autopilot, and I need to get used to this not being one of those games.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
once you get good enough, yes. Like especially like if any of the really high level players did a level 9 start, like that I guarantee would be autopilot for them. I'm gonna do weird stuff here and just try to keep from having pieces sticking up. Oh, now I'm screwed. I can still play around this for a little bit, but nope, now I'm dead.
Yeah,
I needed to.
There were a couple ways out of it, but.
Well, that Z piece is what killed me, or that S rather.
And then like down. Like,
oh yeah, no, down there I screwed up a bunch, and I think I got into like, well, okay, I'm gonna try something really cool to get out of this, and made it worse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like you're in a playground, you know. It's just like it's like a sandbox.
I'm still like very much with the concept of what I can do in this game, trying to learn that. So that analogy is pretty apt. Yeah. Like I definitely feel that way. Like I'm still pushing the boundaries of what I can do even without learning tech. And like, okay, can I get away with doing X or Y input or X or Y piece placement?
Yeah.
Which I think is very fun as well. I think that's a lot more fun than the modern Tetris thing of like, oh, time to learn DT cannon.
Yeah, right.
Time to learn 4 wide.
So it's just like so forced, you know? Like.
Yeah. Well, and it's the result of having a clearly defined meta and having that meta because it works.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to break out of, well, this is the best thing you can possibly be doing, so you should do it. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna, yep.
Yeah. Another thing to keep in mind is two-piece combos.
Yes.
So like the two-piece combos that are current with the next piece, it's just really hard, but like,
yeah, and
you'll start to see like.
It's, for me, a lot of it, I mentioned before, I'm glancing at next out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
It's so much harder in this game. Like, okay, so this is not something that I guarantee I'm not the first person to say this. I won't be the last person to say this. One thing modern Tetris absolutely does right is having dedicated piece colors. Like knowing that yellow piece is always going to be an O, and knowing that teal piece is always going to be an I, versus, okay, well, this white piece is an I here, but now the level changed, and now what color are my pieces?
Yeah, right.
On top of that, I'm playing on a setup with different colors because, you know, the TV itself is different colors.
Yes.
So, like, that's on a modern display, that's not really a problem. But if you are at an event where it's like, I don't have access to my TV that I play on at home. I don't have my fantastic Vega, 7 or 13-inch CRT that I love, and that has good colors. Like, yeah, I can't rely on that. I have to actually internalize what the piece shape I'm looking at is. I can kind of get used to what color it is if I play on the same setup long enough, but yeah, that was a missed drop, but I can deal with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's one thing Tetris the Grandmaster does. Even though 2 was a pre-guideline game, so it doesn't have all of the guideline rules, it has a couple of them, and that's one of them. like it does have static piece colors like that. But yeah, it doesn't have all of the stuff that would go on to be in like the really hardcore guideline games. It doesn't have the it doesn't have infinite lock delay. It doesn't have certain types of wall kicks. It doesn't have T-spins as a separate scoring system. It acknowledges T-spins, but it doesn't like it rewards them. It doesn't reward them as heavily as a Tetris though.
Okay.
Like it doesn't expect you to be setting up T-spins, there's T-spin triples the way modern Tetris really, really does, especially in multiplayer. Yep, I realized partway through what I was doing that I could dash charge rather.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't, I'd be dead.
That's how it starts.
Like I'm definitely I'm internalizing that faster than I internalize brackets and ITG.
Okay.
And I've been playing ITG longer than NES Tetris, so that's actually a good sign.
Yeah.
Oh, well that's bad.
Some good moves there though.
Like I said, I need to internalize not no lock delay, just almost no lock delay.
Yeah.
Because, and this was mentioned to me when I brought up the idea of using leverless to play. The NES Tetris has an extremely hard time with pressing two directions at once. Even playing on controller, that's killing me. Because like my fingers naturally move on the controller in such a way where I'm trying to roll across like down and left, for example. And I need to force myself to stop soft dropping. Because that's what's doing that. And it's so hard because I've spent so much of my life in every Tetris game I play doing soft drop. Even games with hard drop, because the hard drop input is usually like, so in some games it'll be like hard drop doesn't lock it. Hard drop just sends it to the bottom and then down locks it. So doing any amount of soft drop after. And so like being used to that, I'm sorry, I got distracted by the music playing. It's Doggy God Street. It's a VTuber song. It's kind of infamous among this local community. We have some people who really do not like having to play it because they had to play it a bunch for the online event that I mentioned before, ITL. Because it was in ITL 2023. And then, it turns out the chart's sick as hell. So they put it in as one of the tournament charts this time for RIP. But as a result, I like the song. But yeah, it does mean I get distracted by hearing it from the other side of the room. And it's this goofy electro swing Japanese song by a dog girl.
Dog girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you consider Corone your Oshi?
No, Corone is not my Oshi. This is not a VTuber stream, so I won't go much into it, but at least for corporate VTubers, my ongoing Oshi is Momosuzu Nene. Nene rules. Otherwise, like I don't interact with VTuber culture in a way where Oshis are really a thing. Like I just have streamers that I follow and watch. So Fractal is my Tetris Oshi.
Oh, okay.
I do watch his streams every now and then. He thankfully, since he streams on YouTube as well, I'm on YouTube way more than I'm on Twitch. So
Me too, yeah. Me too.
Like actually seeing his streams on YouTube in my home feed is like a thing.
Okay. I mean, I'm new to the word Oshi, but I immediately knew what.
It's literally just like this is a streamer that you really like.
Yeah.
Like it goes a little deeper with the VTuber connotation. For like I won't go into it, but basically a lot of it is associations with like Japanese idol culture, and that's a weird drop. And like I made the conscious decision to do that. I'll get out of it, but I'm not happy about what I did there.
Yeah.
But
okay though.
Like, it's easy enough to clean up. And then I got very lucky with the pieces immediately after it.
I like that not putting the long bar in that little hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, the stack would be really.
Well, and that's so the one thing that I know gets to be really relevant at high levels, both in this and in Tetris the Grandmaster, is the idea of building like a pyramid stack. So where it's you see how the center is raised. Like when I'm watching high level players in this do it, it's like seeing them do it, and it's like, okay, yeah, same concept, because it's very much a thing you have to do. In tap, it's because a lot of the people playing tap are playing TA death mode, and so it's 20G. It's instant falling speed.
That's really interesting that you. So you're saying that you observed high-level Tetris players build the pyramid stack?
Yes.
I mean, NES Tetris players.
Yes.
Okay.
So
That's
not so much at lower speeds. You don't have to. But because what it does when you have a stack is you don't have, like, right now I have, so thankfully that got all the way to the wall. If it didn't, okay, I'm dead. So you don't want that to happen, basically. Having the pyramid, having it slope down, means you have these cleaner movements, and you aren't, like, having your pieces sort of fill in a bad way. Like I said, earlier on, I'm seeing them play, or seeing people play.
That's funny. Yeah, this is the second time you've done that.
Yeah, and no, that time it's for a really stupid reason too. I was thinking it was the other way.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
And if the pieces were a static color, I wouldn't have that problem. And I don't have. That's a bad excuse, because Z and S are different colors already. So
right.
It's a really bad excuse, but I'm going to stick with it anyway.
But if you're being honest, like, that's what happened.
Yeah, like I legitimately made the mental mistake of intuiting it as the wrong piece.
No, but that's really interesting though, because usually what is taught for classic Tetris
is the diagonal slope. And what I've seen, and that part of that is because people play right well.
Yeah.
So when you're playing right well, you do want to do that. And like, I obviously, I'm talking to someone who's way more experienced with me or than this than I am. Like, you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to explain it, but like, it makes more sense to me if I say it out loud. Like,
go ahead.
Like the idea. So building right well obviously makes sense. It's what people do. It's, you can build left well as well, but people they build right well anyway. That's what they lay there and they're used to. But when you get to fast enough speeds and you get to certain types of, especially with the RNG, sometimes you just don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Being able to be like, okay, I can move the piece either direction is a huge deal.
Exactly.
Being forced into, okay, I can only move the piece right, is something that can kill you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
many times.
and that's why, like I said, I don't think it's something that necessarily happens consciously, but it's something that does happen, and especially at higher levels. In tap and just in Tetris the Grandmaster in general, yeah, it's something you have to do intentionally, especially if you're playing a mode like TA Death or Shirase, where the pieces start at 20G and it gets harder by taking away lock delay more and more. So you don't have that extra time to slide the piece down the slope. You just have to know that you can move it and that you can move it the right way.
Very interesting. I actually agree a lot with that, even though, I would probably...
That was bad.
Crap. Okay. Yeah, even though...
Oh, okay, I was trying to rotate that piece.
I see. Yeah, that's stuff. But yeah, especially I think if you watch the kill screen, the fast rolling, they almost never, whenever they try to force it to the right, they usually top out.
Yeah.
Unless they get lucky.
Yeah, like you have to, once you're playing that fast and you no longer have the advantage of, I have time to look at the pieces and think about them before they fall. Yeah, that's it. You sort of end up moving toward. See, that's the placement I was talking about, by the way. Yeah. And I screwed up there. I had a very good piece after it. Oh, I'm dead. I needed to dash charge, and again, my fingers are like left, tap it.
Right.
I need to really force myself to stop doing that. And as mentioned, I need to, because the push down isn't for points. It's not for push down points. It's literally because it's how I play. Like, so forcing myself not to push down is like even harder than intuiting dash charge.
Yeah.
Like, if I had a controller that only had 2 directions, I would play better than having a D-pad. Because I wouldn't be able to press down.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I will say pushing down isn't all bad.
No, and I know it's not like it's a bad thing to do.
Right.
And especially earlier on, and if you're already experienced with higher speeds and have to play at lower speeds, it's like it's the only thing that keeps you sane.
Oh, I can see what you were trying to do.
Oh my God!
There you go.
I'm not good enough to do tucks. I shouldn't be trying for them.
Look pretty good there, though. Yeah, you have to, keep pushing, right? Keep pushing what you can do. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think, so moving back from the idea of coaching at Tetris, in general, try to get better at games you play. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of game it is. It doesn't matter if you're a competitive player. You will have more fun playing video games if you try to get better at them.
Yeah.
Like, it feels sometimes like having a mindset like that is mean, because it feels like you're telling people, well, if you don't try to get better, you're a scrub. Or if you don't try to get better, you're not having as much fun as you could be. And it's not, like, to an extent, yes, I fully agree with that. And it's like, just approaching it as that mindset alone kind of sucks.
Right.
It's the combination of, there are so many games that are just more fun if you try to get better at them, and if you keep trying to get better at them. Tetris obviously is a really good one for that. Like, I think both trying to get better at Tetris and broadening your horizons with which kinds. I didn't want to rotate that piece. I would still be playing if I hadn't rotated that. But yeah, like, broadening your horizons with, like, modern Tetris players should try classic Tetris. Classic Tetris players should try tap. Like, I think even if you don't take to it and be like, yeah, I like this game, I think having that different perspective of, like, okay, I do have to look at these pieces differently. I have to look at having this completely different mindset for 7 tetraminos in a 10 wide well.
Yeah.
Like, I think it makes for a really interesting way to change up how you play and how you interact with the game.
Absolutely.
And I think for Tetris in particular, in much the same way, I say this to rhythm game people all the time, one of the best things you can do to get better at rhythm games is play more rhythm games. And I don't just mean like, yeah, play the game that you like and get better at it. Play other games. Try games you're bad at. Try games you thought that you didn't like or wouldn't like if you tried them. So for me, with that, like, I thought for a very long time I would never be able to play the game Pump It Up. So, quick, like, short breakdown of that. So, ITG is a 5-panel game, or 4-panel game rather. It's left, right, up, down. Pump It Up is invert the panels on an ITG pad. So it's an X instead. So, training your brain, if you're used to playing Dance Dance Revolution and In the Groove, and even Step Maniacs, training your brain to hit the total opposite set of arrows seems on the surface like you need to completely rewire your brain for like learning a different language. Like, it literally does feel like an English speaker trying to learn Japanese.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and I was like, no, this isn't that bad actually. And a lot of the input tech, a lot of the concepts carry over like 1-to-1.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't think it would because of how different it is, but it really does carry over cleanly. Thank you very much.
Would you like a sticker?
So it's like, yeah, broaden your horizons. Play more games. Play games that seem like you wouldn't like them, and you might be surprised.
No. DMJ.
Yeah.
Classic Tetris players. One of the favorites to win this event here. He is insane. So to build off your idea, what he did, he plays all the styles, dash, tap, roll. He can do it all. And furthermore, he challenged himself. He said, I'm going to turn my TV upside down.
Yeah.
I'm going to master this game all over again. And sure enough, I don't know, it didn't take him that long. He recorded himself getting a max out.
On an upside down display. That rules so hard.
What he told me was, the way to do it is don't try to play the game like you're playing the regular game and try to translate it over. Play like it's a brand new game.
Yeah.
You relearn it, and if you do that, you'll learn it. Yeah. So I think that helps him. It
makes him better at regular play.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mentioned, because we talked very early on in this conversation about the idea of playing the mystery mode in Tetris Effect. Yeah. So, and I compared that to ITG mods. Same thing. ITG mods make you step out of your comfort zone. They make you learn to read notes that, like, if you're used to just looking at the screen a certain way, you look a couple inches below where your arrow indicators are and watch for the arrows to come, and you hit the arrows on time. That's totally fine. You'll do perfectly well playing. And then you play mods and you're going to get utterly destroyed.
It's part of the fun, though.
Yeah, and it's part of the fun, and it's part of, again, getting better. Like, so for me, my personal one on this is, so there's a rhythm game concept called Softland, and it's, long story short, it's named after an old song from Beatmania 2DX, but the idea of Softland is when the scroll speed, so literally the speed at which the notes are coming in, changes during the song. Oftentimes, like, changes drastically. Like, you'll go from 250 BPM to 125, and then back to 250 a couple measures later. And and so it's like, funnily enough, it was originally a glitch. It wasn't supposed to do that in the song that was in. This is the first run I've had in this whole session where I made it from 13 to 14.
Oh, it is? No, I think you did.
No, I had some where I started on 9 and made it all the way to 16. But yeah, no, this is the first, because I'm not used to playing while talking. That's part of it. And I actually pride myself on my ability to play games while doing other things and while chatting and such. Like, I'll play rhythm games that way. I'll be on a voice call with friends and I'll be playing a rhythm game at the same time and doing pretty well at the rhythm game. Apparently I can't do that as well in Tetris.
Okay.
At least if I can, I gotta warm up a bit first. But yeah, so the thing about Softland as a concept, a lot of rhythm game players really, really hate Softland. They will avoid songs with speed changes entirely, even if they're completely fair speed changes. They'll avoid songs if people tell them, hey, this song has Softland. Like, they'll go out of their way to not interact with. I should have dropped better there, but oh well. I can survive 16, so we're fine. That wasn't a misdrop, even though it feels like one. It was a bad drop, but it wasn't a misdrop.
I understand it. Oh, it's tough. Oh, nice.
Nope, there we go.
All right. Oh, yeah.
But also the first time in a bit I've seen the score screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and this time I will go ahead and say it, those players are cowards. Play songs with Softland. Play songs with speed changes. Play songs with, if there's a piece of ITG tech you don't like, play songs with it. Get better at it. Make yourself, even if you don't have to like it, but be able to do it, you will be better at the game as a whole. And maybe you'll find out, hey, actually it's fine. I was psyching myself up for nothing, like I did with Pump It Up. And honestly, to an extent, like I did with classic Tetris.
Yeah.
because so my actual first exposure, like, you know, I have an NES. I've had an NES for years. I had Tetris on it, but I basically put it in to test the cartridge, and then it went in a box with most of my other games. The first time I actually saw like high-level NES Tetris play was I was watching someone on Twitch. I forget what I was watching, but you know, they hosted someone else, and of all people, it was Jonas.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, and you know, just, you know, end up, you know, staying on this stream, and it's just super chill environment, playing NES Tetris. It's fun to watch. It's like, but at the time, I'm looking at this like, this looks really cool. And I don't think I could ever get into it because of how I'm used to playing other Tetris games.
Right.
And same thing with later on learning about rolling, learning about hyper tapping. It's like it looks intimidating. It sounds intimidating. When you see people doing it, it's like, okay, that's really cool. That's probably a bitch and a half to learn.
Yeah.
And
it is. Yeah.
It seems intimidating, and like for me, certainly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to learn how to roll, but I'm willing to try.
Yeah.
Like, and like that's, like I said, that's my message in general, is like, be willing to try. If you think you hate something in a game, you might be right. You might be perfectly reasonable for hating it. But you might turn out, hey, this is actually fun and you like it a lot and you want to get into it. For if it's a whole game like this, maybe it turns out you like it a lot and you get into a new community and make friends because of it.
Yeah, I think it's important to not feel ever stuck and stagnant. Always be dynamic with your goals. You could go for some things sometimes, but you gotta switch it up. You can't keep going for the same thing.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of players in classic Tetris, in general, you'll find a lot of very great people, very nice people. A lot of them, I find, they get stuck because they're up in this same rabbit hole, trying to, like, you know, get to the top, and they're trying to all climb the same path. But I think it's important to remember to take breaks, take a step back every now and then.
Yep.
Look at what you really enjoy about the game again, and then, you know, interact with it in different ways. Kind of reset. So I really love you have a really healthy approach to it.
And,
I think too.
And for me, it's like, a lot of it is simply this. I have had friends who like went in on that grind. I myself have gone in on some grinds, even in like just single player non-competitive games. And it's like, cool, I'm going to grind out doing this thing. And it was a cool grind, and now I never want to play that game again.
Yeah.
And that is, especially if it's a game you love, that is the worst place to be in.
Bad. Yeah.
Is like, I love this game so much, and I don't even want to look at it. And I don't want to feel that way with something like Tetris. Thankfully, like I said, Tetris is a spectrum. It's so many different games that happen to share a core rule set and a core set of playing pieces. I would really, really like the other one.
There, okay. Oh, you go.
No, the eye works, but I mean, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, I know. Going for it?
Got it.
Nice.
Oh, got the other one. Open well. Okay. As far as the RNG in this game goes,
Yeah.
I'm of two minds on it. I prefer the bag. I like having a consistent piece system.
Sure.
Getting the piece you need at the right time in this is such a dopamine rush.
It's that unpredictable schedule, right? That's like
well, yeah. I mean, I was gonna say you got the SSR. You won your gotcha poll.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad.
PB, you got it.
Yes, I did. That's what I was about to say. Not just a PB. That is my best on a 13 start.
Awesome.
Because my previous PB was on a 9 start.
Congrats.
So now I need to keep going. I want to hit 400K.
Yeah. Good enough.
The one thing I'd like to do as far as NES Tetris, not a skill-based thing, but that I think would make me even more interested in playing more, is get set up for streaming it. I'm not currently set up for NES Capture.
Yeah, you would need like the capture card and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I have a like retro capture device. I actually have, of all things, a Dazzle. So really old capture device. It works. I mean, I've captured stuff off of it before. I used to, of all things, play ports of older games on my PS3 captured on that.
Oh, okay.
I can still get a little more.
Right, yes. Nice, yes.
35. 352, that's fine. I'm happy with that.
Awesome PB.
Yeah, I'm always, I gotta get a picture.
Yeah, take one.
I gotta get my name in. Move this over. Got a PB on the Disney TV.
Awesome.
Little Mermaid is here. God, I'm happy about that. And this is also part of why I love to have a gym cartridge is, like, yes, being able to do that is awesome. I want all these. I want to play on these modes.
Yeah, they're really cool. There's like invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds
Like, I want to be able to practice more. Yeah, I saw so Fractal did the max level checkerboard challenge.
That's so fun.
That relies on glitches to be doable.
Yeah.
That was so cool to see.
Yeah.
You know what? Screw it. We'll do it as a level 9 start. I'm gonna play checkerboard. Just one try. I want to see how far I can get. Probably not very, but... Oh, nope. Okay, nope. I started too high. Yeah, no, I agree. Like being able to play B-type, I like that they have a higher max for B-type than on the stock cartridge. Yeah. Which, let's try a 5 anyway. I'm here. I got kind of a really friendly start, actually.
Yeah, with the pieces, yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, with the pieces themselves, but also, that was dumb. I spun it twice, and I've seen even pro players do that. So
Yeah.
at that time, I screwed up with the double spin and then with that T. Well, but yeah, like I said, like I want to have access to all these modes because right now, yeah, I'm playing on this guy. It's great. It's a fun cartridge. But yeah, like I want to get better. I want to have the tools to get better. And so I'm really enjoying playing the game though. Like I said, I've been enjoying getting back into Tetris as a concept, but getting back into Tetris in a different way than what I've really spent time on as an adult. Because yeah, like I said, I mean, I play Tetris Effect. I've got it on my Steam Deck. Being able to boot that up and just go into one of the effect modes and play Master Mode or even Classic Score Attack. Like, you know, we have NES Tetris at home, but
possibilities are just endless.
Yeah. But yeah, that's, as the person who was being coached, I really appreciate the info you gave me. I really appreciate having this talk. As the person who, like, I'd like to think has a good perspective on stuff, I'm just going to reiterate it. Try new things. If you're a Tetris player and, like, either as you said, like getting kind of locked in a rut, like not improving or anything, try more games. Try other Tetris games. Try other puzzle games. There are so many good puzzle games out there, block dropping or otherwise. You know, I love Tetris. I really like Puyo Puyo, even though I'm bad at it. I like Tetris Attack / Penalty Pawn, even though I'm bad. I don't know that I'd say I'm bad at that, but I'm not good enough to like compete against actual good players. And I love playing other stuff casually. I mean, you know, put Dr. Mario in front of me. Put Yoshi's Cookie in front of me. Put for a more recent example, Pedal Crash. Pedal Crash is so good, and I'm looking forward to the sequel. But like, yeah, just like try other games, try other types of Tetris. If you just want to play other Tetris, try. I'm hypnotized by watching the stream right now.
Oh yeah, it's satisfying.
Oh yeah, but like like I said, it's same thing if you're into other types of games. If you just want to get better, like especially something like a rhythm game, a fighting game, arcade shoot 'em ups, and yes, those three are all genres I'm big on, so that's why I bring them up, but it's true for all of them. Play more games. You'll find out, like, unless you're already the best in the world, you're almost certainly going to find out, hey, there's something that I can get better at. There's something that I will get better at.
And even when you are the best in the world,
you can't stop getting better. Yeah. Like, and it's interesting sometimes watching the players who are, oh, nope, there it goes. I'm watching 10, and there it goes. But sometimes seeing even the players who are the best in the world and seeing the joy they have just doing, like, the most basic things because they haven't gotten to do them in a while. They're stuck playing in the tournament grind mindset. And sometimes you just want to buffer into a level 1 super 3 times in a row against an opponent who isn't answering it. Like it's video games are supposed to be fun. For me, like I said, and I think for a lot of people, getting good at them is the way to make them more fun. And I think, like, along with that, like I said, I want to avoid that being a toxic thing to say. You don't have to get better overnight. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to even be what you would consider good. But if you like something and enjoy playing it, I think the best thing you can do for yourself is try to get better at it, at least a little bit, even if you think you're good enough. And it really does. It applies to almost any game you can think of. Like, you know, I play way too many different games, but like Final Fantasy XIV, I'm not aiming to be a high, like, you know, top percent parser or anything like that. I play Red Mage. I enjoy playing Red Mage. I enjoy going into a raid and being like, okay, I can sit over here, I have a basic DPS rotation, I can optimize it and I want to optimize it, but I'm not feeling like I'm being punished for not optimizing it, because what happens is, okay, cool, I have to drop my rotation and start rezzing people, and what I enjoy about that is that I'm able to be good enough to do the damage when it's needed, but also able to be good enough to do the healer thing, watch my list, watch my player list. That player needs a res, or that player even needs a heal, and the healers are tied up and they're on the other side of the map. Like just improving its skills that, like, may not be the skill you need to be the best player in the world, but will make you better at the game and make you have more fun with the game. Like I said, I think you can apply that to any game you play, and I think like for Tetris in particular, like you said, play other Tetrises. If you have access to Gym, play some of the wacky modes in Gym. And like you said, you know, the player you mentioned here who has learned all the styles, that's so sick. And that's another example of that same thing. Like, learn more styles, and that's another way to get better, is like, you may figure out that, yeah, cool, I got really used to trying to roll, but my rolling's suboptimal, and I'm actually playing better going back to DAS, so I'm going to work on DAS a little bit before I work on rolling again. Like,
it's important to relax, have fun, and write your own story.
Yes.
Yeah, write your own story. Don't let it do what everybody else
like,
is doing.
yeah, you don't have to listen to me even. Like, I do think that, like, trying more things is the way. For some people, they don't have the time, they don't have the energy, they don't have the opportunity, and all of those are totally fair. Like, I work a full-time job. I work crappy shifts. Like I close on weekdays and open on weekends. So there are plenty of times where I get off work on a Sunday, and it's like, okay, cool. Saturday night, I got off work at 2:30 on a Saturday, drove up here to go to the fighting game weekly, hung out until 11 o'clock, drove an hour back home, had to work at 6 a.m. So I had one day out of my whole week where I felt like I was going to get to spend that time getting better, and I did on fighting games, hanging out with friends playing those. And like, yeah, I haven't had time to get better at other games as a result of that, but I'll take it. It's that's the other thing, is it's not always about trying to get better at one game. If you only play one game and you want to get better at that, go for it. That's the best. If you play multiple games, or if you think you would enjoy multiple games, like I said, try something you haven't tried before. Like, even if it's only tangentially related to what you do. Like I said, I mean, I love arcade shmups. So like both horizontal scrolling, like your Gradius type, vertical scrolling, like your Dodon Patch, Mushihime Sama, your like hardcore cave shoot 'em up stuff. They're almost different games. Like they're almost different kinds of games. But being able to play both and being interested in playing both makes you better at both. And it means that you usually will end up having more fun. And then going to the third element of like, okay, cool, well, I'm also going to play Toho Project, like my friend over here does. Yeah, big fan of Toho. Toho is, even though it's also vertical scrolling shoot 'em ups, the way the games are balanced ends up being its own different skill test. So it's not quite as abrupt as, or it's not quite as, it's not the same thing as like going from modern Tetris to classic Tetris or vice versa, where it's same rule set, different skill set, but it is the same in terms of similar rule set, different skill set. And like I said, developing that, getting better it's fun. Like that's kind of the thing for me.
Yeah.
And I think like get better, try to get better. If you don't have the time or don't want to, you don't have to. You will probably have more fun if you do and if you can. And I encourage anyone who does feel like they can or want to go for it.
Absolutely. I couldn't say it better myself. Yeah.
Anyway, this dragged on way longer than it was supposed to, I think. I was told this was supposed to be a 45-minute session.
No, it's all good. We're
yeah,
just
I feel
here
it.
to hang out.
Yeah, oh, I feel it. And I've been enjoying hanging out. I've been enjoying chatting.
Absolutely.
Been enjoying playing Tetris.
Yeah.
Hey, would you like to try a round? Because we haven't played yet. Let's swap seats. So this is Aaron's first time on the controller in how long?
I played it in high school a few times.
Okay.
Okay, high school was way closer for you than it was for me.
Oh yeah, it's like 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're on the right mode already. Oh yeah, that's my controller. You're good. Okay. Start. Go ahead and start on whichever level you like. If you hold A and press start, it adds 10 to that level. So you may want to start on 0 or 5 or 9 or 13 or 19.
5.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
And it's standard Tetris controls. There is no hard drop on up. It's only down for a soft drop. And I'm not going to coach you. I'm just gonna. I want to just see you play.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm in the tournament, so
Yeah, she's one of the people signed up for the novice tournament on Sunday, which I'm really excited for. Like, I love the idea, even outside of just like, you know, this being like not primarily a Tetris event and having that. I love the idea of having that. I would love for us to have something like that for ITG as well. Like, get the Tetris people over playing it.
Yeah, I need that. I want to get into that.
Yeah, well, the good news, at least on that, is we got open.
Okay.
There's, you know, there are setups open. You can just go play on them.
Yeah, sure. I should step out of my comfort zone. Yeah. Well, I mean, DDR is just, I look at it, it just seems, man, it's crazy. How do you do it?
It seems like it. If you can read 19 speeds, I think you can read ITG.
Okay.
Like, it really is similar in terms of like how fast stuff is going. So it's not that bad. And also you can control the speed at which it's actually moving. The big thing is the information density aspect of it.
Got it.
Because, yeah, you can make the arrows move slower, but now you're looking at 50 of them at once. And it's the
I see.
thing of you actually want a higher scroll speed.
Yeah, because it's less information.
Yeah, it's showing you like 3 arrows at once, or 5 arrows at once.
Got it. Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm gonna win this tournament based on
You're gonna demolish me.
yeah.
All that time I spent playing, it's gonna be for nothing. You're gonna wreck things. Okay, so now that you've played one, I do want to do some coaching. So go ahead and start another one.
Yes.
Same level, we'll just start it like normal. So when you are stacking, are you looking to try to build up a well for a Tetris?
I was trying to do that, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I just messed up that.
The biggest thing for that is going to be learning the ways the pieces interlock. Because the idea of Tetraminos themselves, even before Tetris was made, is that it's a set of pieces that interlock in predictable ways.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So it's like if you know what the pieces look like and you know you can internalize the pieces, then it's like you can start to picture, okay, well, if I have an eyepiece, you know, the 4x1 long piece, I can put that in here and it'll link up with this. If I have a T piece, I've got a T-shaped opening. It can go in there. And so on and so forth.
Yeah.
The other thing is, especially right now, don't worry about going for Tetrises unless it's already set up. I think like worrying about clears is going to get you faster. And then you can worry about Tetrises once you're used to getting things.
Yeah.
It's really funny seeing a T-spin setup.
Oh yeah.
It would be really bad to do a T-spin in it, but it was a T-spin setup.
Yeah.
So it's gonna reset again.
Yep, just try again.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think that's the first thing to keep in mind is the idea that
Just look at how they interlock.
look at how they interlock, look at how you can maybe get pieces to form certain shapes. So like, yeah, so if you do that, now you have an eyepiece dependency down the middle there, but you can get an eyepiece, you don't have to worry about it. You can also do that,
Yeah.
So it'll let you keep the pieces flowing without locking yourself.
Nice, you found it.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Nice.
There you go. Learning that particular interlock, that an L piece will always interlock with a J an L
Another
piece
L
and a J
piece.
piece will always
Yeah.
interlock with a J piece, is one of the earliest important things you can internalize for any version of Tetris.
Yeah. Very nice.
Kind of not sure what to do with that one.
That was actually not bad. Yeah. Let's see.
Ignore this. Yes, there.
Yeah,
Okay.
you had a few different things you could do with that one, and some are like funny but suboptimal, and some are
Yeah.
like it'll get you moving forward.
Yeah.
And I think the one you did is probably fine. Like it keeps you moving, and when you're early on like this, like as a player, not necessarily in the game,
Right.
I think just keeping moving and not letting yourself stop too long is important.
Yeah.
As far as piece interlocks go, the T-piece and what happens when you place it vertically is like the second most important thing to learn after learning that an L and an L will interlock and a J and a J will.
Oh yeah.
Because it will like completely change how you look at where you're stacking pieces.
Yeah.
And again, I think that applies to any Tetris,
So
not just any piece. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing pretty well. I got a PB.
What'd you get?
352.
Yeah,
Just
nice.
shy of 353. My previous best was 331. And that was on a level 9 start. This is a 13 start.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it live.
Yeah,
First live event. Yeah.
Oh no, believe me, I in general am a huge fan of the do it live buff. For any game, like some of my most exciting up scores in like NITP and such have come during a stream or during a local tournament.
Really, you get a buff in
Yeah.
live. I don't really get that buff all the time. Yeah.
It's the idea of like I'm under pressure to do well, but I'm not under like I'm not playing for prize money or anything. I'm playing to have fun.
Right.
But I still want to do better, and it gets back to that whole thing of like wanting to improve.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like you're.
That's a good read. The J piece before that.
Yeah. But she's making that same kind of placement
Yeah.
next to the edge like you were making. With those Z pieces.
Oh, that's good. Oh,
Oh yeah.
A little bit more time. get it over in time.
You can feel free to join us. We're just having like a coaching /
I saw that.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to let you know I snuck into the gold bracket. If nobody changes, I'm playing you first round.
Oh, whoa,
nice.
okay.
I just want to, yeah.
All right.
I don't know if you heard, I'm a roller now.
Yeah, I know. I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of pulled one out of my ass.
Yeah.
Some
Congrats.
ass.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I don't think we've ever played like a match.
I feel like we have.
Well, I can't remember. I have like
Yeah,
the
it might have been a long time ago though.
Yeah.
Like
There you go.
nice talk. Yeah, like 2020, like
Whatever. Yeah,
2022, yeah.
I can't wait, man. I hope
So-
that bracket stays.
Just now you fell into a really easy trap. So when you have that small pyramid shape, it's really easy to be like, okay, well, I'll put the T here and hope the other side goes down. In that
Yeah.
particular case, you knew that the next piece was going to be the other side. So the thing to do is like try to position it so you can drop them both over. If you're going to go for that particular type of stack, you don't have to go for that stack. But like, the alternative ends up with more open spaces, more holes, more of these like
Spirals.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was I don't have a good term for it, but when you have these like bumps where it's like gaps of one wide and you have multiple of them in there.
Yeah. People often call it like parity issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think either of those just now for the O piece would have been a good spot. Where it is now leaves you open better for another O piece or for what you got, or for like an I or an L or a J.
Or J.
The other one gives you a different placement for an L or a J that you can build off of differently. I think it's one of those ones where whether or not it's optimal for one or the other depends on your play style and your level of personal interest and risk. Like we already alluded to it earlier, but even to me as a new player, it's like really obvious that NES Tetris is kind of a gotcha game.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Like it's very much gambling. It's just it's a very different type of game.
Yeah. We're playing poker out here.
Yep.
I wasn't sure what to do with that one.
No, that was not bad.
Filling up that side well isn't a problem right now, especially with the speed you're moving at.
It seems pretty fast to me. Faster than when you played it.
No, the 05 is pretty fast.
No, it's just
Yeah,
No,
it's-
really, like
I alluded to this earlier as well. Like the lower speeds seem low when you're used to doing even like I said a 13 start. I guarantee a 13 start feels slow to the faster players.
Yeah.
And like to me, it's not that it feels slow. It feels like a really good speed to play NES Tetris at. But if I were playing Tetris Grandmaster at that speed, it would feel slow. But again, that's a game where even I'm not good. As I said, I really enjoy playing it. I don't have better than a 1, which means I still have 11 grades ahead of me after that because it goes 9 to 1, and then to S1 all the way up to S9.
Yeah.
Then M and then G.
Yeah.
So, but like even not being good at it, it's like I'm still spending most of my time hard dropping, soft dropping, like alternating my fingers, getting pieces down as fast as I can.
Yeah. Man, I want to try the TGM.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, TAP has a modern port.
Okay.
Yeah, Hamster, the company that does the Arcade Archives series, has been continuing to branch out into other platforms, other publishers, as they're able to get the rights for more stuff. And they released Tetris the Grandmaster 1 and 2 on both PS4 and Switch.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep,
Okay.
they're both available. They're $8 each.
Oh my gosh.
And
Okay.
that's for, it's basically an arcade ROM and an emulator, if we're being honest. But that's fine, and it plays fine. Are you
Okay.
going for that tuck? having the exact S or Z that goes into it and deciding, am I putting it at the bottom or am I putting it up
Or a little bit up. Yeah. It's not an obvious decision.
All good?
Yeah.
Not a lot of chatter, but the chatter that there is there is like, oh, this is perfect. I wanted to play this game.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that's been going great. I got a PB on stream.
Yeah, you got a PB.
At 352, like just shy of 353.
Yeah.
My previous best was 331, and that was on a level 9 start. This was a 13 start.
Yeah.
Looking really clean now.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa. Back down to the bottom.
So now from here, you have a lot of places you can develop your board. So,
Actually, having a low board is scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
So, I was watching Fractal streams where Fractal was talking about how he does not go for Bravos, all clears,
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
show up. And to me, it's like, what he was saying, because A, because it's suboptimal, and B, because it pisses people off in stream chat. Which,
Yeah.
like, all power to you, that rules.
Yeah.
To me, it's interesting coming from, again, from these other games. So in Tetris Grandmaster 2 and 3, there's this concept where you have medals that you build up your medals as you're going. And the medals are for doing different skill things. Like T-spins have a medal, even though T-spins
Okay.
aren't really good ones. Like fast clears, and when I say fast clears, I mean like there's a timer going as you play, and like getting to X level in Y time will have a medal, for example.
Okay.
There is a Bravo medal. But the way the Bravo medal works is like if you get one all clear, you get a bronze. If you get two all clears, you get a silver. Like they're not expecting you to get a Bravo every single time. They're like, it's there as a reward for the players who know about it. And it's interesting because the way the medals work is they are just like a fun tracking thing. In TGM2, in 3, it actually tracks it across your sessions because it like saves your scores on the tab. Like you basically so it does some cool stuff there. I do like that feature of it. But yeah, like that is one of the things it saves is your Bravo medal. So was 5 to 6 a speed shift?
Yes.
Okay.
Every
It seemed like it, and it's like just subtle, but it's like when the speed is that slow to begin with, it's noticeable.
yeah.
Like I needed to ask because it's like, okay, 15 to 16 is a speed shift, and it's way more noticeable than that one is.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure it wasn't just like, oh, the blocks are red and black now, that's a speed shift. Like that mental association.
Yeah. It's there's a speed shift every level until you get to like 13 to 15, I think.
Yeah, because I know that's why I was told like try 13 starts instead of 15 starts when
Yeah.
I'm still learning. Because it's the same number of lines to get to the speed, or to the next level. It's 100 to get from 13 to 14.
Yeah.
And it means you get to spend slightly more time at 15 speeds before you go on to get blown up with 16.
Nice. Yeah.
By the way, Aaron, if you didn't realize, every level you clear now, every 10 lines is going to send
Another.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask that.
But you're still doing well.
I'm surprised I'm still in it. There were some points where I thought it was
Get your
over.
stack cleaned up, you can keep playing quite a while. So that one was interesting because, again, watching someone else play also, I think, has a negative influence on how you perceive the piece preview. Because you have all the time in the world to look at the piece preview when you're watching someone else play.
Yeah.
the funny thing is, I think you could have gotten some really good stacking out of what you just had there.
Yeah.
True.
Because those first two pieces, the weird way you stacked the double Z piece, you could have then put the next piece you got directly
Into it, yeah.
in two different positions that both would have set up.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, even as a new player, it's like that to me is like, you have to learn piece patterns, you have to learn what can go where, not necessarily what should go where. You can learn that later. But yeah, you see the difference now for level 9. It's like how much faster this is. Even if, it's like, yeah, cool, I'm used to this seems slow. But, like, I'm not the one playing. It doesn't matter if I think it's slow.
Yeah.
It feels pretty aggressive for me.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the idea back in the day was that level 9 was going to be the hardest start level.
Yeah.
The option to start at 10 through 19 was a secret. Like, that's why you have to do a code. You hold A and press start to start at the higher levels.
Yeah, and that's further evidence. There's a celebration screen when you complete B types. 9-5 is, they give you the biggest celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to play like 18-4 or whatever. Like the celebration for 18-4 is the same as for 8-4. Yeah.
And yeah, like on
I meant to
you can
rotate
still get
that.
out of this. You can type.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Awesome.
That's clean stacking. You got it solved. You've still got a bit more to do, but like this is easy for me.
Oh yeah. The hard part is the sides, right? Getting into the sides gets really hard when you're up top.
More time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Game Boy Tetris is the same way as far as that goes. So 0 through 9, you can do up to a 19 start, but oh boy. But yeah, it's also, it's telling in a different way that these celebrations, if you were playing, yeah, Aaron, so you wouldn't be seeing this because of, we're playing on a gym cartridge, so it's like a modded cart. But when you're playing on a stock NES Tetris cartridge, at certain score thresholds, you get a celebration screen.
I forget about that, yeah.
Yeah, I have never forgotten about it because I see them
All the time.
sometimes every
Yeah.
single run back to back.
Yeah.
And it's really tedious because you can't skip that much. That alone, even if Jim had no other features and WordPress, I can play and not have to watch the rocket screen every time would be worth the price of entry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so getting 30,000 points, which you were just short of, you were at 25,000.
Yeah, 25,000. Yeah.
So like you can definitely do better.
You were almost getting the little rockets.
Yeah, it's different sizes of rockets. There's a little tiny one, there's a slightly bigger one, there's a bigger one, there's the space shuttle, there's a really big one, and then there's a UFO, and instead of the UFO launching, Moscow launches into space.
Yeah, the whole
the spires. I forget the name of them, but you know the ones I'm talking about. But yeah, it's really cool. It's really fun until you have to see it every single attempt and sit through it for several seconds every single attempt.
I hated it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's I think it's worth trying to at least start getting some of the rocket celebrations, and I think, like I mentioned this before talking about stuff earlier during the 1v1 or one-on-one talking conversation and coaching. You play Toho. You can.
Oh my gosh.
You can do fast bullets, like you can play shmups. You can perceive these speeds, you can perceive the movement speeds.
Absolutely.
It's a matter of just practicing. It's literally just practice. Like, yes, like learning the patterns, learning, like I said, learning some of those basic patterns will get you further than like learning fancy type. Yeah, well, you can move between those instead of having to move this between these.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah,
for Toho players. It's like, like, dude, what is this?
Yeah,
All
like I said, it's ultimately, it looks harder than it is, but in a way where it's like, yeah, it's still hard. It's not like it's easy. It's just, it's something you can learn to do.
Oh man.
Like that to me, I think is the bigger thing, and that's what I was getting at before with stuff like, you know, talking about me trying comp, talking about other people, me wanting to try video games and learning ITG tech and stuff. Like, there's so much stuff that looks daunting, but you know, it's the famous saying. Do you know why people climb Mount Everest? Because it's there. It's super hard to do, but it's a challenge that exists, and people want to do challenges. People want to, even if they're trying to improve, it's something else entirely.
Yeah, actually, my Mount Everest was I want to be the guy. Yeah, platformers are kind of my jam, actually.
I get that, and for me, platforming is specifically I do like Mario stuff and stuff, but I really like search action. So what other people would call Metroidvania. That term sucks.
You don't like that term?
No, because the short version, so a Metroidvania is neither Metroid nor Vania.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's like, as someone who grew up with not Zelda, but Super Castlevania 4 on the SNES, Castlevania to me is a series of side-scrolling stage-based platforms where you have really difficult jumping physics and a limited skill set and like preset weapons and stuff. The weapon customization you get is that you can pick up some weapons in the level. There are no RPG mechanics. There are no weapon drops from enemies. Similarly, Metroid is not an RPG. Metroid has never been an RPG.
It's not, yeah.
So when someone says Metroidvania, and what they really mean is Symphony of the Night, it's like, this is so, it's disappointing if someone recommends a game and it turns out to be that. Like, even if it's good, it's still sometimes it's a bit disappointing. And it ends up being such a rush and such a reward when you play something that isn't. Like, yes, this is. I would have done the other drop, the one you were walking on. It would have left you with a cleaner stack.
I think she knows, but I think you got like.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's also, by the way, downside of a level 0 start, you level up every 10 lines. So it's going to be changing colors every 10 lines.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to try getting used to colors. But yeah, like, I recently played, and I need to get back to it, it's fantastic, Prince of Persia, The Lost Empire, which is the new one that came out. And yeah, it's like search action's greatest hits. And I mean that as the utmost fun. Like, it feels like in a lot of ways they feel the same way I do, the developers did. Like, we love Metroid. We love the idea of exploring a world and your character slowly getting more powerful through the mechanics of the game and through the player's skill rather than
Yes, I can.
I think.
I,
Nope. Rotate it again. Nope, too late. Oh, there you go. No, you got it.
wait. Did I blunder?
Oh, this works too.
Yeah.
That was cool.
You're not out of the woods yet, but I think you have a better chance now. I think the biggest thing is you have this giant opening. You need to be more willing to drop other pieces into it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like your stack is so high right now, you need to burn it down. All your bubble gum is turned into toxic waste, and you need to get rid of it.
I love that.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, hat.
Yep.
That was
It's not your fault. The lock delay in this game is very misleading if you're used to any other Tetris.
well, I'm not.
Very
That was just a blunder.
Yeah.
Wow,
I think
nice.
you can get further. It's just you gotta work at it. You gotta sort of internalize some of the patterns. It's the actual I think you're getting good piece placements, but like I said, you have this giant open hole in the middle.
Yeah.
You need to be more willing to fill that. So that's actually in modern Tetris, they'll leave those giant holes on purpose because when you have a bag system, you can internalize that this sequence of pieces with this stack will always clear, and so that's what they can do. You can't do that in this game, so you have to be more willing to I have a hole, I am going to fill it however I can.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like a double L like that, well, that's too wide. You could put almost anything in there if
Yeah.
the shape is right. It's like L's, J's, T's, squares.
Yeah.
They can all go in there.
I'm just worried about putting something in and then I get the perfect,
Yep,
Right,
do not
yeah.
let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Yeah.
Like NES Tetris is kind of built on that concept. Like it goes hand in hand with the stuff about it being a gotcha. That is a better placement than I would have done because then I wouldn't have put that there. I
Yeah,
would have
that
put it
was-
on the
that's
right
not
there.
right, yeah.
But I would have put it flat. Like that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
And I would have screwed up because I'm still internalizing it wrong. And that's another thing that I've watched the better players playing and doing, those weird piece placements like that, or seemingly weird, that are objectively correct placements. And I've got to learn to internalize some of those concepts.
Yeah, a lot of it is setting up for the future so that when
Yeah.
it does get uncovered, the well is cleaning it, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to build stuff on top of the bridge first.
Yeah.
Or,
And it's for me especially,
Thank God.
nice.
That would've been over.
I'm very willing to burn. So I get to, this is not good advice for high level Tetris because you really have to manage your well better. You have to manage your, if you're doing a level 18 start, you're maximizing points as hard as possible to create a 19 transition. So you have to play as cleanly as possible and as optimally as possible. You do not have my option of, well, I'm just going to burn here, and here, and here, and here, and really just everything is a burn. So it's it's bad advice for high level play, but for low level play, it can be good advice.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's so true.
I think to me that gets back a bit to what we were talking about, the idea of you don't have to start off trying to be the best in the world.
Yeah.
There's so much improvement you can make at lower levels. And in trying to be the best right away is going to leave you running up.
Yeah.
I think you had a way out of that. It would have started with a different placement. Well, on the T, because you missed off the T. But on the O, the square piece, I think where you put it was bad. I think if you had put it to the left, 2 spaces to the left of where it was, it leaves you with a much better placement on the next piece.
The next box is really hard Okay, sure.
I'm sorry you're using my controller, but
No, it's okay.
you're not. You said you don't roll. You're doing gas. So
Yeah.
Here I go.
I think for my next step, I have to learn. I need to like be able to roll. So,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I know that's like
Yeah,
super
you have to be a
advanced.
rolling girl.
I heard someone playing that.
Good. Even better. I thought you meant an ITG.
No, like just a live performance.
Good.
Wait, what was on the piano?
Someone was playing Rolling Girl by Wawaka, the Hatsune Miku song.
Oh, wow. On piano?
Yeah.
Nice. I play piano.
Okay.
Correction. They tried to play the beginning 3 times. Very distinctly. And then they started playing songs.
So it may have been accidental rolling.
No, it was clearly intentional. Like, they got far enough in where I could tell.
We need to wrap it up.
Okay.
The actual coaching is very much over. I just wanted to see you demonstrate now.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't commentate well enough, obviously. Like, I don't know the intricacies of jazz yet. I will learn.
Yes.
I'll learn them. But, like, I mean, obviously I can say, oh no, Miss John, or stuff like that. I like that the stack's about to open up and about to be poorly. I think I would have placed what you just did poorly with the, I couldn't tell if it was a Z or an S if it was moving too fast, but I think I would have placed them wrong and ended up pulling. Also, do you normally play left well, or?
Usually I do start on the right, but I'm very willing to switch around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is it usually if you want to well at the hard side?
Yes, because the idea is, especially at higher levels, stuff is moving fast enough that you need to be able to just get the pieces moved over as quickly as possible. So having an incline where the pieces aren't having a chance of touching ends up being better.
That makes sense. Otherwise, you risk moving it.
You risk it landing, and since there's so little lock delay, if it touches the stack, it's probably going to go on the stack, which can just kill you on the stack. The other thing for me is like, I was thinking of something I can't remember. It'll come back to me.
I got a TV live on stream as well.
You sure did.
Yeah. That counts.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get way more.
Yeah.
Don't worry, if you're playing in the tournament, the novice bracket is double lit, like you were saying, so. Yeah, see that? That is my worst enemy, is that that perfect incline, perfect staircase on the left side there. That's cleared now, but. And T's feel so much better to drop over there because of exactly that. If you put a T into that position instead, it leaves you with a much cleaner stack. A T in that position is like, it can be cleaned up, but yeah, it's the way a lot of it works is it's tricky and it's just more stuff to get used to. Clearly isn't a problem. You've got the awesome combination right now of you've got relatively good RNG and you've got fantastic stack, so
Yeah.
Yes.
just as like that's one thing, Aaron, is learning the so back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I mean when I was a kid, and you would read like people talking about Tetris and like strategy guides about getting good at NES games. And stuff like that. No, we are
No,
just
I'm just
because we
playing
were
one
doing
last
the
game.
coaching thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see Micetro play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So me play about 1 million and then her play a couple. So
Yeah, that was my last game.
if you have to drop, you can.
I want to finish this out.
Okay. But yeah, like the old wisdom was that the S and Z pieces are the worst, and it's kind of true. Like S and Z are harder to play with, but O is the worst. O is absolutely the worst.
What? Well, just because you can't really place anything.
Yeah, it's hard to think. You have to have a 2 to stack it in cleanly, and it doesn't build into more stuff.
Get the transition and we got it.
Okay.
Go ahead and say goodbye.
Okay. I should transition. So. Yay! Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yep, this was really fun. Like I said, I've learned a lot. I